first I'd be inspecting the neck. I would look and make sure that the thyroid gland wasn't enlarged and I didn't need to do anything with that. It's not. And then I can check the carotid pulse, which I want to do one at a time. I just want to make sure that it's there aren't any bruits or thrills, anything like that. And then you can also auscultate if you have any worries or concerns. Okay, and then we can estimate the jugular pressure in the neck. I'm going to do this by having you lean back, and you want them at about a 30-degree angle, and then I'll be looking at the jugular vein, making sure that you see the 3 positive waves to make sure that you have a normal sinus rhythm in your heart. You can kind of see it flickering. And then you want to put the head to the left. Right. And then you want to measure. So you would extend a card here from the heart. And then one right here. And then you would want it to be meeting at no more than 9 centimeters. Okay? And then you can sit up. And then we can do the apical pulse. You can kind of feel underneath for the maximum. Right on the left mid-clavicular line. So you're feeling the apex, the apical impulse, and then you can feel over on the side, and then feel the base. And you don't really want to feel any heave or thrill. Okay, and now I can auscultate. And first I'm going to be auscultating the aortic, which is the second intercostal space on the right side. And then the pulmonic, which is the second intercostal space on the left side. Next is herbs. It's the third intercostal space on the left side. And down, this is tricuspid, which is the fourth intercostal space on the left side. And then the mitral is the fifth intercostal space. It's the left mid-clavicular line. You want to note the rate and rhythm of the heartbeat. And then you want to identify the S1 and S2. The S1 is high-pitched, and you can find that in the apex. Well, it's louder in the apex. It's the lub of the lub dub. And then you can go to the base of the heart where the S2 is going to be more prominent. Make sure that there's no splitting and it's higher pitched. It's going to be shorter. And there's no signs of S3 or S4. And you want to listen in systole and make sure that there are no abnormal sounds, extra heart sounds, or murmurs. And then you want to repeat the sequence with the bell. So, aortic, pulmonic, herbs, tricuspid, mitral. And then we want to listen to the apex of the heart with the person also laying in left lateral. So I'm just going to need you to lay back and get on your left side and lean towards your left side. There you go. Put your arm up. Yes. Okay. There you go. Then the apex of the heart. Okay. Okay. First, I would start by inspecting the arms. Make sure they're pink, they're warm. Is there any tenderness or pain?
Nope.
Okay, I'll be checking for any lesions. The size is symmetrical. There's no edema. I can check for clubbing of the nails and capillary refill, which is under 3 seconds. And then I can start palpating the pulses. I'll start from the temporal, carotid, brachial, radial, and they're all 2+ and normal. They're symmetrical. And then I can start with the epitrochlear nodes. I'll start with the one right here behind the elbow. I'll be filling here. And I can move up around the axillary nodes, around the armpit. Palpating for any nodes or masses. And then back down to the elbow. Okay, this side. Up. Right behind the node. Right behind the elbow here. Axillary. And then back down to the elbow. Oh, and then I can also do the modified Allen test, which is where I would occlude the radial and ulnar arteries. Can you make a fist several times for me? So I'm occluding the artery, and it should be occluding the blood flow. Okay, that's good. Now open your hand. And then I'm going to release the pressure on the ulnar artery. And then the blanching should come back quickly. So, and it did, within 2 seconds. Okay, and then I would inspect the legs. So I would be inspecting the legs also for color, which is pink, making sure that the hair is still there, making sure that the circulatory system, you know, you're getting blood down to your feet, there's hair all the way down to the toes, it's pink, the legs are warm. Is there any pain or tenderness?
Nope.
No? Okay. And then check for capillary refill, which is less than 3 seconds. And then, have there been any lesions or any skin changes recently?
Nope.
No? Okay. And then if there was any sign of varicose veins, you would get them to stand up and you do a manual compression test, so stand up. And then what you would do for the manual compression test is, if you had a varicose vein, you would just, to make sure that the valves are competent, you would compress the lower part of the varicose vein, and then you would occlude the top of the varicose vein. And then the valves will prevent the wave transmission, and you wouldn't be able to feel it. Then I would also want to palpate the feet. So make sure that there's not any tenderness. They're warm. They're pink. And then I can finish the pulses. The next pulse that I would want to do would be the femoral, which would be right inside here. And you would check both sides of the femoral. And then you would move on to the popliteal, which is right behind your knee. Keep it slightly bent. Another side. And then you would want to do the posterior tibial, which is inside by an ankle. And then the dorsalis pedis, which is good. And then you'd also want to palpate the inguinal nodes. So you would want them to have their knees bent slightly, and then you'd be feeling around for the superficial superior inguinal and the superficial inferior inguinal. And you just be palpating to see if you felt any nodules or masses.